Let's take a look at some multiplication of integer examples. I have one up on the board, 4 times 5. We all know 4 times 5 is 20, but let's remember why we know it's 20. Up at the top in blue it says multiplication is repeated subtraction, or multiplication is repeated addition. That's how multiplication is. It's just a fast way to add. So 4 times 5 literally means you have 5 4s, which you can see here being added together. And of course, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 20. The other way you can think about it, of 4 times 5, is that it is 4 5s being added together. So you can see we've got 4 different 5s, and of course that adds up to 20 as well. Well, that understanding of multiplication can help us figure out rules for multiplying by negative numbers. If I have 4 times negative 5, it literally is meaning that I have 4 negative 5s. Got a negative 5, and another negative 5, and another negative 5, and another negative 5. It's a bunch of negatives being added together. Well, all of these would give us our same answer of 20, but since it's negative 5, negative 5, negative 5, negative 5, the answer is actually going to be negative 20. It's repeated addition, but it's addition of a negative number. Here we have negative 4 times 5. We can think of this as negative 4 happening 5 times. All right? So negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4 plus negative 4. Right? A bunch of negatives being added together is just going to give us an even larger negative number, and we learn from up here that all of those 4s do give us 20, again, this time negative. What if we have 2 negatives? Well, we can't say we have negative 4 happening negative 5 times, or negative 5 happening negative 4 times. It kind of is an awkward sounding thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of ignore one of the negatives for now. And I'm just going to say it's negative 4 happening 5 times, which looks just like what we have up here above. Now we know that this can't be the same answer of negative 20, because otherwise we would have written it like this. These 2 negatives must affect each other somehow. The way that I like to think about it is I like to think about it in terms of opposites. When I see the word, or when I see a negative sign, I think of the word opposite. So if we think up above here, I think this is 4 times 5. Oh wait, no, it's the opposite of 4 times 5. Well, the opposite of 4 times 5 is negative 20. What is 4 times 5? 20. Oh, no, it's not 20. It's the opposite of that, which is why our answer is negative 20. What is the opposite of the opposite of 20? Well, I know that the opposite of 20 is negative 20, and so the opposite of this just brings you right back to 20. If we were to lay it out like this, what we're actually doing is we're saying the opposite, the opposite, the opposite, the opposite, the opposite, and all of a sudden you have a bunch of positives being added up to give you a positive 20. Now what this leads us to is a very quick, easy rule for remembering some of these multiplications. If you have a positive times another positive, you will end up with a positive. You've known that since elementary school. If we have a positive times a negative, that negative sign is going to make it the opposite, meaning our answer is going to be negative. Same rule applies with a negative times a positive. If it was positive, positive, we know the answer is positive, but it's the opposite of that. So negative. And then the real awkward one, negative times a negative. An opposite times an opposite will bring you right back to a positive. It's as if these negative signs are canceling each other out, and we just end up with the same positive that we had before. So if you have the same sign, you're going to end up with a positive answer. And if you have different signs, you're going to end up with a negative answer.